Hi everyone, and welcome to Jane Talks Real. It's Slayer Sunday, where I will be talking about and reviewing all the episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer in order. Today I'm looking at Season 2, Episode 8, The Dark Age. The episode begins with an anxious guy rushing around with a silver case. He asks the school janitor where Giles is, and he points him in the direction of the library. The man sees a zombie of someone he knows and starts banging on the door in a panic, but Buffy is playing music too loudly to hear him. Giles doesn't like her choice of music, while Philip here doesn't like getting strangled to death. The zombie lady collapses into blue goo, and into the credits we go. Giles has a Rob Zombie music video dream and wakes with a start, where he's a little out of sorts in school. He tells Buffy there's going to be a blood delivery that night.
Vampire Meals on Wheels.
And Jenny arranges for Willow and Xander to join her in a computer class on the weekend. Afterwards, Jenny calls Giles sexy and arranges a little sleepover, and even gets a little kiss. Giles goes to the library to find the police waiting for him because the dead guy was carrying his name and address. But then Cordelia bursts in, bitching about having to go to the weekend computer class. No, seriously, people cannot be that tunnel-visioned or self-centered not to notice 3 police officers in the room. He kicks her out of the library before he's taken to the morgue to identify the body. Giles says that Philip here is an old buddy from England, but they haven't seen each other in 20 years. He has a tattoo which kinda looks like a heartless, but Giles clearly lies and says he doesn't know what it is. He's held up with all that, so Buffy is left by herself to deal with the blood drop-off. But something is wrong and she has to deal with the vampire doctors. Angel shows up to help, but Buffy quickly dispatches 2 of them, while Angel's opponent drives away. Angel says that everyone knows about delivery day and promises to deliver the blood while she goes to find Giles. He looks like hell, and after a quick apology he slams the door in her face. Aha! Now Giles is the stroppy teenager! He makes a phone call to England, only to discover that his friend Deirdre has recently passed away. Really? Deirdre, Philip, and Rupert? Wow, they really picked the most British-sounding names, didn't they? Giles takes a drink and crosses Deirdre's name off a list, which now leaves just 2, himself and Ethan, that dickhole that owned the costume shop in Halloween. He then rolls up his sleeve to reveal the same tattoo as Philip and says, "You're back." In the morgue, Philip is a little more lively than he should be and chucks the poor mortician into his own drawer. You might want to put some clothes on, buddy, otherwise everyone will see your zombie doodle. It's Saturday and computer class consists of just Xander, Willow and Cordelia. And would they really bother opening up the school for 3 people? Buffy shows up, wanting to talk to Jenny, and she explains what happened, but the others haven't noticed anything out of the ordinary. Until Cordelia pipes up and says the police were talking to him about a murder. Except that she wasn't in the room at that point. Buffy goes to the library to use the phone, but sees a shadow moving through the stacks and goes after it. Only to be attacked by Ethan, but she's too quick for him and grabs him. She punches him in the face for all the trouble he caused on Halloween and threatens to call the police on him, but he says they'll be too busy with Giles. Buffy calls him and asks what the mark of Igon is and says she's with Ethan. Giles tells her to get away from Ethan as quickly as possible, but too late because zombie Philip breaks in. She tells the others not to let Ethan get away, and it's actually Cordelia that's able to stop him, while Buffy manages to lock Philip in the book cage. Giles rushes in and threatens Ethan, who calls him Ripper, but no time for explanations because Philip busts out of the cage, knocking Jenny out. But when Buffy kicks him, he blue goops his way out of existence. In the chaos, Ethan gets away, and Jenny's hand touches the goop, so that can't be good.
How's your head? Fine.
Buffy can't find Ethan, so she demands answers from Giles instead. He says it's private and he'll work out a solution, so stay out of it, and takes Jenny home. Buffy is not happy, so she gets Willow to research the mark of Igon and Xander to poke through Giles' personal files. Cordelia jumps up, wanting to help, so to her disappointment, Buffy sticks her with Xander. Cheer up, Cordy, he protects you during the Philip attack. Willow's research turns up that the mark of Igon is a symbol that invokes a demon who can possess dead people temporarily, but once it blue goops, it has to jump to the nearest dead or unconscious host. The group all realise that Jenny was unconscious when zombie Philip gooped, which is why she's at Giles' house disconnecting the phone. She comes onto Giles, who isn't in the mood right now. Consent works both ways, Jenny! She gets all mad that he rejects her and then gets all creepy and weird before flinging Giles around, but it's okay because Buffy is here, and she kicks her in the face before she jumps out of the window like it's a Texas Chainsaw movie. Buffy tries to pep talk Giles, but he admits that this is all his fault because he created the demon. Xander's snooping turns up a picture of Anthony Stewart's head photoshopped onto Sid Vicious. So it's time to do some splaining. When he was 21, Giles rebelled against his destiny as a Watcher and joined a group of magic users where they discovered Igon, who had possessed one of them while they slept. Unfortunately, one of the group was overwhelmed by the demon and they were forced to kill him. But the demon got out, and now years later it's killing them one by one. Wow, this episode got a little bit flatliners all of a sudden. Because Jenny left, that means the next target is Ethan, so Buffy heads out, but Giles is worried that stopping Igon might mean sacrificing Jenny. Buffy promises to work something out, and Giles apologizes. When she gets to the costume shop, Buffy finds Ethan, who tells her that Igon will keep coming because of his tattoo. So she says she'll protect him, but then stupidly turns her back on him and he twats her out. She wakes up tied to a table where Ethan brands her with a shiny new tattoo and then pours acid on his to get rid of it. He may be a dick, but Ethan sure is determined. Giles passes out momentarily and gets flashes of what Ethan is up to, so despite his condition, he heads out to help. Just as Ethan finishes, alien Mr. Burns shows up, and wow, Jenny, I love the new look. She shoves Ethan out of the way and goes for Buffy, who's worked herself free, and fights back, but now Giles is here, volunteering as tribute. Jenny attacks him, but Willow's plan bursts through the door and starts strangling her. Angel chokes her unconscious, so Igon has no choice but to jump into the nearest dead body, Angel himself. But sorry dude, that body is already occupied and things get a little Jim Carrey for a second before Igon disintegrates. Angel collapses, but both him and Jenny are fine, and Ethan runs off. The following day, Buffy is complaining about how much it's going to cost to have her tattoo removed, and Giles approaches Jenny, who says she's fine, but backs away from him. Giles and Buffy have a heart-to-heart to end the episode. After a hint of Giles' dark past in Halloween, we get a big slice of Ripper pie here. I love me some Giles, so to have an episode centered around him is a nice change. So many more layers are added to his character with the roles reversed, Giles acting up and being secretive, while Buffy is the responsible one trying to solve the problem. It's good for the growth of both characters. Even though he's a dick, I kinda like Ethan and his interactions with Buffy especially. We get some subtle foreshadowing with Angel strangling Jenny to save her life, something we will get the reverse of later in the season. One thing I don't understand though is if Giles created Igon when he was 21, why did it wait for him to be in his 40s to attack him? What's it been doing all this time? We have 4 deaths to add to our list. Less than you might expect, because even though we hear of the deaths of Giles' friends, if you're new here, I operate with a show don't tell policy when counting. So we have 1 human, Philip, who was killed by zombie Deirdre / Igon, 2 vampire doctors, dispatched by Buffy, and 1 demon, Igon, who couldn't hang with Angel's demon side and disintegrated. But before we go on, I know that according to the comic book, Igon survived by jumping into a dead rat under the floorboards, but I'm only taking information from the show itself, and Angel if needed, not from any of the comic books or graphic novels. So as far as I'm concerned, Igon died here, which brings our running total to 8 humans, 3 transformations, 17 vampires, 1 zombie, 1 mummy, and 2 demons. So there you have it. That was the Dark Age. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, or come say hi on social media. If you enjoyed this video, then please hit that like button, it really does mean a lot. Or consider subscribing if you'd like more videos like this one. Thank you so much for watching, I'll speak to you soon, and don't let the vampires bite.